And it seems like for some reason with the connection issues earlier, that was why it kicked off. So it was as we were switching the streams, then it also lost the connection. So I thought we finished that stream as well.
Right, right.
Okay, let me just see. Should be running.
On the YouTube, it says there's some live going on.
Hmm. It should be running. I just want to see if I can view that link. And then we'll, because we've got about 3 minutes before we kick off. So I just want to make sure. How do I share this link again so I can view it? Kicked off. Yeah, okay, it is working. Perfect. Okay. Then that should be perfect. So we'll give it 2 minutes and then we'll start on time for the second session.
Great.
Okay, so without any further ado, thank you everyone for joining us for this guided meditation for the Geminids meteor shower. This is the second session. I appreciate everyone that is joining or viewing this at a later time. I would like to take a moment to really just welcome our guest, Mark Westmaket. Mark is an astrophysicist, Zen meditation, and yoga teacher. And I've had the privilege of working with him on various projects. And I can really say that Mark really carries this passion for helping people to take what they have in nature, the night sky, and use that to connect with their inner selves. I'm pretty sure that for everyone joining us, this will be an insightful session tonight, and I hope everyone has a good time. Thank you. Mark, I hand over.
Thanks, Dominic. Thank you. Yeah, welcome everyone. Hmm. So just thinking a little bit about how we're going to be arranged for this evening or your kind of setup. So ideally, you're outside. You're outside under the night sky, and you've got a nice open, wide open view of the sky above you. I suppose in the ideal, also, the sky is clear. But I appreciate that that isn't going to be the case for everyone, and that's absolutely fine. So you might be in a place where you've got some restricted views of the sky, maybe some trees or some buildings around. Maybe you're joining from your patio or your veranda or maybe your balcony. And in which case you might have just one view, like in one direction of the sky. And that's also absolutely fine. It might just be that it isn't clear where you are right now, and that's also fine. With the best will in the world, the weather isn't something we have control over. And there are lots and lots of benefits from doing what we're going to be doing this evening, even if it isn't clear with you right now. I can't tell you how many stargazing evenings I've guided where it starts off cloudy and then, I don't know, like sometime later, little patches and holes start appearing and then it gradually starts to clear or clears for a bit. And also the other way it happens. So we start, it's very clear, and then 10 minutes down the road, the clouds start coming. And then, so it's always changing. And that's really what the beauty of the sky is. It's always changing, changing, changing. So, whatever your conditions are right now above you, please stay on, please stay with it, and we'll just see what happens as the evening goes on. So ideally, also, you're really comfortable. You might be lying down or you might be sitting up. You've got plenty of blankets, nice cup of tea or whatever you need to be comfortable outside. So you might, I don't know, if we've got a moment, if you need to grab something or just, rearrange or move your chair or whatever you need to do, just make sure you're comfortable. You're very welcome also to turn off the video and just listen. In fact, I'd recommend doing that. You don't really need to see me to do this. You need to see the sky. Now, I'd say that spotting a shooting star, which is what we're all about this evening, is one of the most magical experiences we can have in stargazing because it's so fleeting. It's so like, woo, and it's gone. So, what we're going to be doing this evening is a practice of looking with a kind of wide-eyed awareness. We're putting ourselves in the path of opportunity to see shooting stars. I can't guarantee that you're going to see any. You might see many, many. But what we can do is put our expectations to the side. I don't know what the sky is going to do. I don't know if we're going to see a shooting star. Are we going to be looking in the right direction? Who knows? Let's just see what happens. You might be surprised. And what surprises you most may not be seeing a shooting star. Who knows? Let's just open ourselves to the potential of what this evening has. All right, so we're going to start our practice with closing the eyes. Now, before you do that, I think it's really important to just look around your space right now, where you are, look around, and as it were, reassure your body that where you are is safe. When we're out in the nighttime, the dark, even if we're in somewhere where it kind of looks safe and we know we're safe, we're at home, we're in a familiar place, it puts our body slightly on edge when we're in the dark. Well, it can do. A little bit of not feeling entirely, yeah, comfortable. So if you just look around and just say, hey, body, look, it's okay, it's safe. And when our unconscious, instinctual body, our unconscious, if you like, feels reassured, then our whole system can settle. much more easily, quickly. We can relax. That is what this evening is all about. Relaxing, broadening, opening. All right, so if you feel comfortable, I'll invite you to close your eyes. And it's kind of strange. I know this is all about looking up at the stars, but actually takes somewhere around 20 minutes or more for your eyes to adjust to the dark, to fully, widen, especially if we come from somewhere bright inside. So while our eyes are adjusting, we might as well just close them and direct our attention inside. When you come to notice your body, do you feel heavy or light? Like overall, do you feel warm or cool? Do you feel high energy, maybe a bit agitated, you know, fidgety, scattered? Or do you feel focused, concentrated, calm, maybe low energy? I mean, those things don't all go together. Just looking at the level of energy in your body. And then we could focus our awareness on different parts of the body, noticing your head, your face, your eyes, nose, mouth. Bringing awareness to your shoulders. It's one of the areas of the body which we often hold tension in the shoulders. So perhaps you notice, you can feel tension, discomfort, or perhaps you can let go and relax your shoulders a bit more. Moving your attention down your arms, elbows, hands, and fingers. Just being aware of your hands. And then moving your awareness down your back. And down your front, chest, belly. Becoming aware of your hips, buttocks, into your legs, thighs, knees, and then all the way down to the ankles, feet, toes. So we start with this very simple awareness practice, opening our senses on the inside. And we're going to continue before we open the eyes. So, but before you open your eyes, just continue to notice this downwards movement. So down through the body, the way your body is on the chair or on the lying down on the cushions, and notice the pull of gravity. Notice your weight. And that'll take you down through your body to the ground. Our little piece of the surface of our planet that you're sitting on right now. Feeling gravity, which is our planet. We're sitting on the surface of our planet. Our planet, of course, vast ball of rock. Okay, so let's now open your eyes. Maybe just blink them open and begin to look up. I would suggest just fixing your eyes, your gaze, in the middle of the sky, and then becoming aware of the whole of your field of vision, all the way from the center to the edge, to the periphery. You don't need to move your eyes around, just become aware of all that you can see. And if it's nice and clear, we've got our eyes maybe focused on a star, but you can also at the same time notice the horizon, the trees, the buildings, the lights. And we're going to play with our attention. Now, at any point, now that you're looking up, your eyes have had a chance a little bit to adjust. They've probably got a little more to go. But we're looking up now. At any point, you can see a shooting star. Any point. And one of the nice things about doing this kind of practice, and especially with shooting stars, which are so quick, is that there really is absolutely no point in trying to record our experience. There's no point in trying to photograph this or video this or capture it in any way to pass it on to anyone else or show people what you've been doing. It's dark anyway. It's very difficult to take a photograph. So your experience is your experience tonight. It's just your personal experience. We're all in this habit of wanting to, record it for social media or to send to a friend. Let's just put our phones, put the social media to the side. Absorb the experience of being here now for yourself. Be in it 100%. So we're playing with our sense of attention. We've been playing with awareness inside the body, moving it to different parts of the body. And now we're looking up in the sky at this point in the middle, and then becoming aware of the whole periphery and all of your vision. But we can just as much zoom in to the middle of your vision as we can zoom out to the edges. It's like one of those old torches, or flashlights, where you twist the end and it goes from being wide open floodlight to narrow spotlight. So we can do that with our attention, and we can just twist the end of our attention torch, and then suddenly we're a spotlight on this star, maybe even a laser beam on this one star. Or if it's cloudy, it's just a point, maybe a area of the cloud or a light in the distance. And then you can broaden your attention out again. What are we doing here? Well, there's no physical movement. There's no changing in the lens of your eye. There's no muscle. It's just all happening in your brain. I find that just absolutely incredible. The skill we have to be able to manipulate our attention. Narrow laser beam, wide open, whole sky. Narrow laser beam, wide open, whole sky. You could just do it just by doing it. I mean, I don't know. What do you do? I don't know. I couldn't describe it to someone else. You just do it. So we're going to try and stay in the wide open mode for the rest of this evening. That's the best way of spotting a shooting star. Now, of course, if you're with other people, there can be a temptation when you see a shooting star to go, "Ah, did you see that?" And if your friend or friends are looking in the same direction, they may see the shooting star. But if they're not, by the time they've looked, more likely it's gone. So again, it becomes our personal experience. You're looking in the way you're looking, you see it, someone else might see it, but they can't really share that experience unless they're looking in the same direction, they happen to see the same one. Just staying within your experience, this moment, your relationship with what's going on here. If it's clear, it's very tempting, especially if you've got some astronomy knowledge, to try and work out what star or constellation there is up above you. Maybe you've already been doing it. But just for tonight, let's let go of trying to work out the patterns of stars and the constellations. Let's just put that to the side. We don't need that. Not for looking for shooting stars. It actually gets in the way. Let's let go of any kind of astronomy knowledge, right? Letting go of any ideas about it. As I said, expectations, but we can also let go of all the to-do lists and the ideas, what we've been doing today, what we might do later, just letting it all go, being here. Tonight is not really about astronomy knowledge, learning about the night sky. It's about immersing yourself in the experience of feeling, sensing, looking, appreciating. Now, we will, a little bit later, talk about some of the science. What is a meteor shower and all that. But just now, we don't need to engage on that level. If it's not clear where you are, or if it's clouds coming and going, then let them be there. It's so easy to wish things were different, to get frustrated with the clouds because they're getting in your way. Well, the clouds have as much right to be there as anyone else, right? Anything else? So let the clouds be there. They might be lit up by the lights around you. They might be changing. They might be changing quite fast, moving across. They might billow and change shape. There might be gaps passing by. Putting aside any kind of wish or want for things to be how you want them to be. Just allowing things to be as they are, allowing this moment to be as it is, as beautiful as it is. There are, of course, other things that are moving in the night sky. Aeroplanes. Aeroplanes are always blinking, flashing. And then, of course, these days we see a lot of satellites. Satellites, small points of light moving steadily across the night sky, not flashing. And then, if you're lucky, every now and again, a little streak, or maybe even a big streak a shooting star. So I'm going to be quiet for a little bit now. Give yourself a chance to be in this openness, to putting yourself in the path of opportunity, for taking the time and enjoying what this moment has right now in front of you. If you end up feeling distracted, your mind goes somewhere else. We start thinking about something else, we get out our phone, start. It's very normal. Just as soon as you notice, see if you can just let it go and come back to here and now, just for this time together. We're doing what I suspect humans did a lot more in the past. Before the age of electric lights, I mean, this time of year especially, and it's dark from pretty early in the afternoon. What was it? What could we do? There was very little we could do, and it was very dark everywhere. So people probably just went outside. They just spent time outside. They're probably much more familiar with the night sky through their whole life, just looking. And of course, these days, how much do we do this? It's almost like we need permission to spend time outside with nature at any level, let alone the nighttime nature and the night sky. So for us, this is a very special time to be out looking at the sky, connecting to our very kind of fundamental human nature of being in touch with our world around us, environment. What you're doing now is not really any different to what someone 500 years ago would have been doing, or someone 3,000 years ago would have been able to do, or someone maybe even 10,000 years ago, what they were doing. Sitting down, lying down, looking up at the sky and just marveling. Isn't that incredible? When we're outside looking for shooting stars, as we are tonight, really teaches us something around the fleeting nature of life. There it is, and suddenly it's gone. Almost like the moment it's there, it's gone again. It teaches about the complete futility of wanting, grasping. There it is. Ah, it's gone. It teaches us to appreciate this moment. Only in this moment, when we're really here, present with our experience, can we really drink it in. If we're thinking about something else, if we get distracted, if we're wishing things to be different, it only gets in the way. Shooting stars are always unexpected. Looking, 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 nothing, 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 and then five in a go. Totally unpredictable. All we can do is put ourselves in the path of opportunity. That's all we can do on purpose. And then just be open. And the clouds coming and going, also teaching us about no point in wanting or grasping or wishing things to be different. This moment is what it does. Maybe already you have a sense of the soundscape around you too. We're not only just looking, but we're also feeling, listening, touching, smelling. Our whole senses are open. There may be natural sounds around you, maybe the sound of the breeze or some little animals or birds, rustlings in the trees, leaves. There might also be human-made sounds around you, depends where you are. Maybe a lot of human sounds, cars, traffic, airplanes, sirens. Let's just let it all in. Let it all be there. Let it all be part of this moment. So as you stay open in your being, let's add a little bit of science and the knowledge behind this to our experience and see how that changes things. Maybe some of this you know already, maybe some of it you don't know. A shooting star is technically called a meteor. So it's not a star at all. It's the wrong name. It's actually a small stone, little piece of rock that hits the atmosphere and burns up. So as the little piece of stone enters the top of the atmosphere, the air causes friction and it makes the stone heat up. And the heat up and actually begins to melt and eventually it vaporizes completely in the atmosphere. And that's what we see as the streak. It's the stone being vaporized as it comes in through the atmosphere. Now, the Geminids are a meteor shower caused by an asteroid. The Geminids, along with the Quadrantids, which are happening in January, they're the only major meteor showers that don't come from a comet. All the other ones come from a comet. Okay, so we've got asteroids and comets. Asteroids are big balls of rock, comets are big balls of ice. And it's thought that the asteroid that created this particular meteor shower may have been a comet or may have been part of a comet. Comet is a big ball of ice, but probably got some balls of rock in there mixed in as well. And it may have disintegrated at some point. And then we've got this leftover of the comet. It's known as 3200 Phaeton. This is the asteroid. And comets and asteroids, especially if they're kind of breaking up, or if the comet is coming close to the sun and getting heated by the sun, it leaves a trail behind it, like a sort of debris trail, little pieces of dust and stones and pebbles just falling off the back of it, as it were. And in the case of meteor showers, it's not really that the meteors are hitting the atmosphere, it's the atmosphere hitting them. So in Earth's orbit around the sun, takes us 1 year to go around the sun, and it just so happens that the orbit takes us through the tails of some of these long gone comets and asteroids. So the debris trail that's left behind, the Earth goes through that trail as it's going around its orbit. So it's the Earth passing through the trail of the debris, which causes that debris to hit the atmosphere, and then we get a meteor shower like this one. The Geminids are one of the most active meteor showers, first observed in 1862. But the connection between the Geminids and the comet, no, sorry, the asteroid 3200 Phaeton was only made in 1983. And they're called the Geminids because the meteors appear to come from Gemini constellation. That's called the radiant. So that's probably the front of the planet Earth. Gemini constellation is what we perceive to be, what's passing through the tail of this asteroid. And it seems like all the meteors are coming from that place. So all the different meteor showers are named after the different constellations where the radiant is, the center point. And that doesn't mean that you can only see shooting stars in the Gemini constellation, it means that you can really see them anywhere. They're anywhere across the night sky. Most of the time, what we see is a little fleeting flash of light and it's gone, as I mentioned. Sometimes a little bit of a larger rock, maybe like like a big stone or something, hits the atmosphere, and then you get a little bit more of a streak, perhaps a big streak with a visible smoke trail behind that perhaps stays visible for a second or two afterwards. Some really, big meteors, shooting stars. Now, it's unlikely from the Geminids meteor shower, but every now and again we get another meteor that's bigger than that, maybe like a boulder size, hits the atmosphere and heats up. The outside is vaporized as it's plowing through the atmosphere, but it's big enough that some amount of it is left. It doesn't entirely burn up, and then it hits the ground. And we call that a meteorite. Meteorite is something big enough to not entirely burn up. And then, once it's cooled down a bit, you can actually go and pick it up, and you can pick up a bit of space. And it's interesting that for centuries, scientists and natural philosophers like Aristotle, right up to Isaac Newton, they had this belief that no small rocks existed in space. There was the moon, which was clearly some kind of rock, very big. And then there were probably some other planets which were probably made of rock. But they believed that there was no other space otherwise was completely empty. So the idea that stones hitting the atmosphere coming from outside of our planet was thought of as impossible. Some people came up with some ideas, but they were ridiculed and laughed at. No, it's impossible. And the first serious scientific proposal, hypothesis, that meteors are rocks from space, the first serious proposal came from German physicist Ernst Chladni in 1794. And again, he was pretty ridiculed at the beginning. But then in the early 1800s, there were a couple of meteor strikes that became meteorites. They came down, hit the Earth, and people rushed after them, found where they were, talked to all the people that saw the streak coming from, the sky and all that. And only then, really, did it gain a kind of general acceptance that meteors and meteorites are rocks from outer space. Just 200 years ago. So that puts us in a very unique, special time in the history of humanity. We now know that when we see a streak in the night sky on a night like tonight, that is a pebble coming from outer space. And we also know that it comes from this asteroid 3200 Phaeton. That asteroid only discovered in 1983, which is about 40 years. So we are the first generation of people to know what we're looking at here. We are extremely unusual humans. It's almost unprecedented, you could say. And to me, this understanding now that the Earth is moving its orbit through the tails of these long gone asteroids and comets, and all this dust and stones, pebbles, and things are hitting the atmosphere, causing this a meteor shower. It's just amazing. Adds, for me, adds so much more to the experience. I'm looking, witnessing, feeling, listening, smelling, but at the same time, I'm also knowing. Isn't it wonderful that we can sit here together, all of us joining from all our different places, part of this community of stargazers, interested people, having this experience together, knowing what we're looking at. And however many shooting stars I've seen, or however many I see on one night, it still gives me a kind of thrill. There's this shiver that goes through my body. Oh, there it is. There's one. Maybe you've already been making a wish. Maybe you've seen so many you've stopped wishing. Maybe for you there's a sense of gratitude that arises that you were able to witness such a magical yet so fleeting moment. So I mentioned earlier that there's no point in trying to capture what's going on tonight. This is your direct, immediate experience just for you. It's for you. But I would be interested to hear in the comments on the YouTube channel at some point, not now, later, if you wanted to write in how that experience was for you. Not about the science or however many you saw, or disappointment that it was cloudy. I don't really mind about that. I'd love to hear from you what the experience was, what it felt like in your body to be outside looking in this way. And if you saw a shooting star, like a capturing that, what is that moment? How would you describe it in your body? The visceral felt experience. I'd be interested to hear about that if you wanted to just jot a few things down in the comments later. So we're coming to the end of the guided part of this evening's meteor shower viewing. But I would definitely invite you to stay out as long as you like, as long as you can, given the temperature and comfort levels and things. Stay watching, stay experiencing, stay being in this moment. stay marveling. So thanks so much for joining in, for being part of this community of us coming together live, looking for the meteors. Should say also thanks so much to Dominic Virtue from the Office of Astronomy for Development. He's done a lot of work, especially on the technical side and all the promotions trying to get this working. And also from Kelly Blumenthal from the Office of Astronomy for Outreach. Together we came up with this whole idea and have made it happen. My name is Mark Westmackett. And if you're interested in some of the stuff I do around mindful stargazing, events like this, I do in-person events and retreats, mostly in the UK, but also around Europe. And I've got a few books and things like that, just around bringing together of the mindfulness and astronomy and the stargazing. Just look me up. If you look up mindful stargazing, you'll be able to find me, especially if you add my name. You can visit my website and sign up for my newsletter and get information about what I'm doing. So yeah, I'd love to stay in touch if anyone's interested. A couple of years ago, we did a project with the Office of Astronomy for Development, where we recorded a series of guided meditations around mindful stargazing. A few things you can do, whether it's cloudy or clear or whatever space and time you have. So the guided meditation practices, they're available to download from the OAD website, also from Spotify. They're on Spotify. So again, if you just search for OAD and my name, you'll definitely come up with them. I think Dominic's going to add them in the link and that will get sent out later. So thank you so much for coming along and joining in this evening.
Thanks so much, Mark. Always really appreciate you coming on board and leading these sessions. And yeah, thank you for everyone that joined us. And also for those watching us at a later time, you're always welcome to get in touch and drop comments. And yeah, we really look forward to having more similar events for this community and also growing the audience. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the night. Bye.
Bye then.